James Clear's Atomic Habits synthesizes decades of psychological research, neuroscience, and behavioral economics into a practical blueprint for habit formation and change. The book's strength lies not just in its James Clear begins by sharing a harrowing personal experience that illustrates the power of small changes over time. After a severe injury caused by being hit in the face with a baseball bat, he faced immense physical and cognitive challenges, including brain swelling, seizures, and vision problems. His recovery was slow and difficult. His dreams, such as playing varsity baseball, were initially dashed. However, through consistent incremental habits, improving sleep, study, and physical training, he gradually rebuilt his abilities, culminating in becoming the top male athlete at Denison University and earning high academic honors. This story sets the foundation for the book's core message. Remarkable outcomes emerge from the compounding effects of tiny, consistent improvements. Clear emphasizes that success is not an overnight transformation, but the culmination of many small wins, and that habits shape identity and potential. How your habits shape your identity, and vice versa. Clear presents 3 layers of behavioral change: outcomes, what you get; processes, what you do; and identity, what you believe. Most people focus on outcomes, but lasting change occurs when habits are identity-based. For example, saying, "I'm not a smoker," signals an identity shift, making quitting more sustainable. Habits reinforce and are reinforced by identity. Every action is a vote for the kind of person you want to become. Positive identity alignment makes habits easier to maintain. Conversely, identities can constrain change when people cling to limiting self-beliefs. Clear outlines a 2-step process for identity change. Decide who you want to be and prove it to yourself with small wins. Habits are the vehicle for becoming your desired self. How to build better habits in 4 simple steps. Drawing on Edward Thorndike's animal learning experiments, Clear explains habits as automatic behaviors formed through trial and error, where behaviors followed by rewards are repeated. Habits reduce cognitive load by automating responses to recurring situations. He introduces the 4-stage habit loop: cue, trigger; craving, motivation; response, behavior; and reward, satisfaction. Understanding these stages is critical for building or breaking habits. Clear summarizes these stages as the problem phase, cue, craving; and solution phase, response, reward. He then proposes the 4 laws of behavior change as practical levers. 1. Make it obvious, cue. 2. Make it attractive, craving. 3. Make it easy, response. 4. Make it satisfying, reward. Inverted, these laws help break bad habits. The first law: make it obvious. 1. The man who didn't look right. This chapter focuses on awareness as the starting point of habit change. Clear shares examples of experts who develop intuition to recognize subtle cues, like a paramedic spotting a heart attack from facial changes, demonstrating the brain's ability to pick up cues unconsciously. Habits become automatic and non-conscious, making it crucial to first bring awareness to them. The habit scorecard and pointing and calling are introduced as tools for increasing conscious awareness of habits. By listing and labeling current habits as positive, negative, or neutral, individuals can identify behaviors to change. Verbalizing intentions helps bring non-conscious habits into conscious control. 2. The best way to start a new habit. Clear explores the strategy of implementation intentions, making a specific plan stating when and where a habit will occur, which significantly increases habit adherence. He shares a study where participants who planned their exercise schedules doubled their workout rates. Habit stacking, a form of implementation intention, pairs a new habit with an existing one. After I pour coffee, I will meditate for 1 minute, leveraging the natural flow of behaviors. Clear warns about selecting clear, specific cues and aligning frequency of the cue with the desired habit. He explains the Diderot effect, where acquiring one new habit or possession triggers a chain reaction of related habits or purchases, which can be used positively to build momentum. 3. Motivation is overrated. Environment often matters more. Using a hospital cafeteria study and retail examples, Clear illustrates how environment shapes behavior more powerfully than motivation. People often act based on the most convenient or visually obvious options. The brain's reliance on vision and environmental cues means that small changes in environment, such as placing healthy options prominently, can nudge behavior effectively. Clear advocates designing environments that make cues for good habits obvious and remove cues for bad habits. He emphasizes that habits are context-dependent and easier to change when the environment changes. Dividing spaces by activity and creating stable environments supports habit formation. 4. The secret to self-control. Clear challenges the cultural notion that self-control is a simple matter of willpower. Drawing on studies of Vietnam War heroin addiction, he shows that changing environment reduces exposure to cues that trigger bad habits and leads to spontaneous recovery. People with high self-control avoid tempting situations rather than battling temptation continuously. Therefore, the best strategy is to design your environment to make good habits obvious and bad habits invisible, reducing reliance on willpower. Examples include removing tempting items and placing distractions out of sight. The second law, make it attractive. 5. How to make a habit irresistible. Clear introduces the concept of supernormal stimuli, exaggerated cues that animals and humans are hardwired to respond to, such as junk food's high salt, sugar, and fat content. Modern products exploit these instincts, making habits more attractive but sometimes unhealthy. Dopamine plays a central role in craving and motivation. Its spike occurs in anticipation of reward, which drives behavior. Temptation bundling is introduced as a strategy to pair a habit you want to do with one you need to do, e.g. only watching Netflix while exercising. This leverages dopamine-driven motivation to make habits more attractive and easier to maintain. 6. The role of family and friends in shaping your habits. Clear discusses social norms and how culture shapes what behaviors feel attractive. He recounts the Polgar family's experiment raising children as chess prodigies, illustrating how a culture prioritizing a behavior makes it attractive and normal. People imitate the habits of 3 social groups: those close to them, the larger tribe, and powerful or prestigious individuals. Social belonging is a key motivator. Joining cultures where desired habits are normal and where you share common interests enhances habit formation and maintenance. 7. How to find and fix the causes of your bad habits. Clear explains that habits serve underlying motives, ancient human desires such as conserving energy, social bonding, or status, and cravings are manifestations of these motives. Habits are predictions based on past experience, triggered by cues and emotional associations. To change bad habits, you must reprogram your mind by reframing the habit's associations and mindset, e.g., viewing have to as get to, or creating motivation rituals. Highlighting the benefits of avoiding bad habits makes them unattractive, supporting long-term change. The third law, make it easy. 8. Walk slowly but never backward. Clear contrasts motion, planning, strategizing, with action, doing, emphasizing that repetition and practice, not planning, lead to habit formation. He discusses automaticity, where repeated behaviors become effortless and unconscious, and how habits form based on frequency, not merely time. New habits should start small, with the focus on showing up consistently. Repetition strengthens neural connections, Hebb's law, physically altering brain structure. 9. The law of least effort. People naturally gravitate toward the easiest path. Clear cites Jared Diamond's work on how geography shaped agricultural expansion as a metaphor for human behavior, following the path of least resistance. Reducing friction in the environment, such as making good habits convenient and bad habits difficult, dramatically influences behavior. Environment design is key to minimizing effort for good habits and maximizing effort for bad habits, illustrated by Japanese manufacturing efficiency and everyday examples like phone usage. 10. How to stop procrastinating by using the 2-minute rule. Clear introduces the 2-minute rule. When starting a new habit, Scale it down so it takes less than 2 minutes to do. This removes barriers to starting and leverages momentum to continue. Examples include reading one page instead of a full chapter or tying running shoes instead of running a full mile. Ritualizing the start of a habit helps overcome procrastination and builds identity. Habit shaping involves gradually increasing habit difficulty after mastering small steps. 11. How to make good habits inevitable and bad habits impossible. Sometimes success requires making bad habits harder through commitment devices, choices made in the present to lock in future behavior. Historical examples include Victor Hugo locking away his clothes to force writing. Automation and technology help make good habits inevitable, e.g., automatic savings plans, and bad habits impractical, e.g., unplugging internet routers at night. One-time actions that reduce friction in life can have lasting impact. The key is designing systems that favor good habits and block bad ones. The fourth law: make it satisfying. 12. The cardinal rule of behavior change. Clear shares a public health intervention in Karachi, Pakistan, where making hand washing with enjoyable soap accessible led to dramatic health improvements and sustained habit adoption, illustrating the power of immediate satisfaction. The brain repeats behaviors that feel rewarding and avoids those that are unsatisfying. Immediate rewards are vital because the brain prioritizes present satisfaction over delayed benefits. Clear also discusses how to make avoidance of bad habits satisfying by creating visible benefits, e.g., saving money from not buying coffee. Aligning short-term rewards with long-term identity is critical. 13. How to stick with good habits every day. Using the paperclip strategy, Clear shows how visual measurement of progress through habit trackers increases awareness, motivation, and satisfaction. Habit tracking provides tangible evidence of progress, reinforcing identity and maintaining motivation, especially on difficult days. He warns about the pitfalls of focusing on the wrong metrics, Goodhart's law, and encourages flexible tracking of progress indicators. Clear stresses the importance of recovering quickly from lapses by never missing twice, emphasizing resilience and consistency over perfection. 14. How an accountability partner can change everything. Clear discusses the power of social accountability in making habits unsatisfying to break. He shares Roger Fisher's provocative idea of linking nuclear launch codes to a human life to illustrate how immediate costs can deter harmful behavior. Habit contracts, agreements with accountability partners that impose penalties for failure, add social and financial costs to bad habits, increasing adherence. Even without formal contracts, simply knowing someone is watching can motivate behavior. Advanced tactics. How to go from being merely good to being truly great. 15. The truth about talent. When genes matter and when they don't. Clear explains how genetics influence natural abilities and personality traits, shaping which habits and skills are easier or more satisfying to develop. Using examples of elite athletes with different body types optimized for their sport, he highlights the importance of choosing areas aligned with your natural strengths to maximize success and motivation. The Big 5 personality traits influence behavior tendencies and should guide habit design. Clear encourages embracing your unique profile and building habits tailored to your abilities and preferences, creating an environment where success is more likely. 16. The Goldilocks Rule. How to stay motivated in life and work. Clear introduces the Goldilocks Rule. Humans are most motivated when working on tasks of just manageable difficulty, neither too easy nor too hard. Steve Martin's comedy career exemplifies gradual growth and sustained motivation through incremental challenges. He discusses the importance of overcoming boredom, the greatest threat to consistent habits, by incorporating novelty and variable rewards, as seen with slot machines. Maintaining motivation requires embracing routine while seeking new challenges to avoid stagnation and burnout. Professionals persist despite boredom, differentiating themselves from amateurs. 16. The downside of creating good habits. While habits free cognitive resources and automate behaviors, they risk complacency and mindless repetition, limiting further improvement. Mastery requires combining habits with deliberate practice and continuous refinement. Clear uses the Los Angeles Lakers Career Best Effort program as an example of systematically tracking and improving performance by small margins. Reflection and review prevent stagnation and support growth by identifying errors and adjusting strategies. He cautions against rigid identities that hinder growth and advocates for flexible self-concepts that evolve with changing circumstances. Conclusion: the secret to results that last. Clear concludes that lasting success is not a one-time achievement, but a system of continuous small improvements, atomic habits, that compound over time. Much like the Sorit's paradox, where many small increments lead to a significant change, these tiny habits accumulate to produce remarkable outcomes. The 4 laws of behavior change. Make it obvious, attractive, easy, and satisfying are ongoing tools to refine your system. Results come from persistence, not perfection. The secret is to never stop improving, as small habits compound into extraordinary success.